Not from the States, I come from Venezuela.
More coming up over there. Okay. Let the black fly in.
I think they've
I'll go
seen
in,
all of
I'll
us.
take, no, but you can stay, once you're in the stay, I'll just come out with you for a shot. You understand?
Exit over there to your right.
Okay.
Yeah, let them in.
I don't know. I'll be nice. Why don't we just go to the window?
Act like a lady.
Why don't we go?
All right, and here we are. Welcome, everybody. We just met backstage, so we greeted and Eve reminded us to each and every one of you a Happy New Year, who we haven't seen, haven't met. Welcome, JBL. Welcome, David. First of all, a big shout out to Rachel for all the support. A big shout out to Michael 45 RPM for the shout out, and thanks to each and every one of you who is joining the show. So my first idea for the show was to do the worst covers you can imagine with great content, but these people have so much taste in choosing covers that they don't have, hey Mark, that they don't have ugly covers. So they don't have covers like this in their collection.
Yeah,
I make myself think. So you can.
That's a good record, though. It's a bad cover, but that is a good record.
That's an awesome record, and it's still in shrink.
Fantastic. Oh, is that an original copy? Is it?
Yes, yes, sir.
Right, fantastic.
So I thought that some of you might have these wonderful covers like this in the collection. Anyway, so
Another time, Nadine. Another time.
Another time. We will work that out. So therefore, hello Vinyl Community Record. Hello Mazzy, welcome. Thanks for joining. So therefore, we decided to do debuts of solo and Discord artists, and I think that's an awesome topic. And I don't know about you guys, but I had very, very big difficulties choosing records.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So I think during the course of this week, I pulled out about 24 records, so, but I've whittled it down to 3 to show. So yeah. Good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like to showcase albums that we rarely mention or see. So
yeah.
I've picked up 3 albums that are not, really discussed in the community and whatnot.
Well, every time we do this, Eve, you always teach me something that I don't know, so I always end up spending money. So that's good.
All right. So who wants to start?
You can start, Nadine.
Yeah, you start, Nadine. Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right. So the last time I showed you a record, John, you got a little jealous because it was signed.
Yeah.
So I thought I need to keep the bar up high and start with one of my favorite disco debut albums ever. And this is Double Exposure.
Is that signed, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Double Exposure. And It's signed by Bud, Charlie, Joe, and Jimmy. This guy unfortunately passed away in 2016, so I couldn't get him. And on this album, I love it from the beginning to the end. It was Soul. It was their first record, and it's their best record, and it includes 10%. And My Love is Free. And I think, you know what, I'm trying to play with, at least for 15 seconds before we get blocked.
That's a good record. I have that, but I certainly don't have a signed copy. I mean, that's fantastic. And I love the fact that your signed records are all, you know, signed to you, not just records that you've picked up, which, you know, might have a dubious signature on it. You know, you've actually got it from the artist signed to you. That's fantastic. Yeah. I'm really jealous again.
Yeah. So that was the target, making you jealous again. So let's try to play. And the thing is, I got in touch with them via Facebook, and that requested that, and that worked out pretty well. And so I would say I need to share my screen. Hold on for a second. Presentation, share screen. And let's get into it. Okay, I think we make a break. We don't want to get suspended again.
There's another great tune on that record. Is it Everyman? It was sampled in the early 2000s by on a dance record, which I think is called Soul Nugget. And when I first heard this album, that really jumped out at me. But that's a brilliant tune. I think a few of the tracks on this have been sampled a few times, but yeah, this is my favorite tune on the album. Yeah.
Okay, you know what?
Choose where you want to go in life. No one said that the road would be paved all smooth and nice. If you want to be a lawyer or just lay around all day, don't be jealous of the fellas who want to go all the way. After all, you're only selling nobody but yourself. In the end, you got to answer to yourself and no one else. And every man said it has to go. Yes, it does, y'all. I guess it does.
So what year is that, Nadine? What year is it? Is it about 76, 77, is it?
76 was the first one.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one disco, isn't it? Brilliant.
Soul it's awesome. And they were the first artists who ever got a 12-inch single.
Oh, right, okay.
And I know it was 10% on My Love is Free, but they were the first artists ever to get a 12-inch single.
Right,
so
fantastic.
And this is awesome from the beginning to the end. They had a Locker Room and Full Play or two other records, but this, if you have the chance, is my absolute favorite one.
And it's not an expensive record either, is it?
No, €5. Well, I bought this a couple of years ago. Yeah. I don't know if price changed, but I bought it for €5.
Yeah, you still get it for less than €10, definitely. Yeah, it's a good record.
How many albums did they release?
3 in total.
3? Okay.
3 in total. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
and they were active from 1976 to 1979, and after that they were pure disco, and you know, in the 80s disco was done, and highly talented musicians and singers. They were very good.
Yeah.
They're just one of those acts that once disco sort of started to fade out in the late 70s, then they got forgotten about, and I suppose that's the end of their career then, isn't it? Which there's lots of bands like that, lots of acts, but yeah, that moment, those couple of years, then they made some great music, really good stuff.
Yeah, and this album got, I think, reissued last year. I don't know if it's on colored vinyl, but I know that it has been reissued.
So how did you get that signed, Nadine? What's the story there?
The story is that I got in touch with Joe, this guy, via Facebook, and I asked him if there's a chance that I could send him a record, and if he had the chance to sign it, and if the remaining people could sign it, the remaining members, and he made that possible. So I sent him the record, and they signed it.
That's brilliant. So is that, obviously you've got a lot of signed stuff. Is that what you tend to do? Get in touch via the likes of Facebook or email and just ask them to sign something if you send it off?
I do a lot of research, and most of these artists, especially Betty Harris or some of them, they don't have social media or anything. So so I do a lot of research, trying to phone relatives or neighbors, and they're like, how do you know her? And that she had made this record, and she said, how old are you? That's impossible, that stuff. And so that's a lot of research, but most of the time it turns out good.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's some real effort. That is. That's you're putting the hours in there trying to get a signed record. That's fantastic. Love it.
That's great. That's great,
isn't it? Yeah, it's brilliant.
And you have no idea. I don't toy collection. When you get packages back, and you need to go to a certain department, and they say open it up and show us what it is. In my heydays, I was there every once a week. And they said, oh, the crazy record lady is coming again. And I had big discussions with them because they said, oh, this must be worth $1,000. I said, no, it's just paper. And, they signed it. There's no record in it. That was huge discussions.
Right. Okay.
But I also wanted to point out the picture on the back. I love the picture on the back. I make myself just big again. So this is, I don't know if it's sunrise or, it's just, I love it. Look at the suits.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Screaming the 70s. Yeah. It's screaming the 70s.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a strong look. That's a strong look.
Yeah. They live that lifestyle. So that was my favorite disco debut record.
Brilliant. Good stuff. Go on in, Eve. What have you got there?
Me. Well, I went the more contemporary, modern way as usual. All right, the first album, it's an album that was released in 2002, was the debut album by a great artist that was very huge when it comes to 90s soul R&B, was a great figure in 90s soul R&B music, a singer-songwriter, great instrumentalist, great producer as well. He has worked with Stevie Wonder, Erykah Badu, Just Stone, Jill Scott. He has worked with the big names in 90s and early 2000s R&B. And that is Raphael Saadiq. And this is his debut called Instant Vintage. Once again, released in 2002. This is a great album. Very nice album from start to finish. A great mix of soul, R&B, funk, some doo-wops, a bit of hip-hop. And he calls it, I was watching one of his interviews, and he calls it gospel-delic, the style of this album, because it mixes a lot of, great musical styles and genres. It's very, very good. I think this is a reissue on a double album, and it's on Universal. So yeah, this is a great one. And sometimes we tend to forget Raphael Sadiq, but he is a great artist, amazing a musician. Yeah, so this is a very nice one. Instant Vintage. Yeah.
So he has that thing going on. So I mean, first of all, it's all about his voice. He's got a great voice, hasn't he,
Yes.
Raphael Sadiq?
Yes.
But he a lot of his records, although they are modern records, he has one foot in the past. So
Yes,
there's you can hear the influence from from the 60s, early 70s in his music as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about the voice. A great vocalist.
Yeah, especially with, I think it was his album. He released an album in 2008 or 2007, and it's called The Way I See It, and it's very retro, like you said, very retro soul, like Motown style. But yeah, he has a great voice, and he's been a member of a great band in the 90s called Tony. Yeah, and Lucy Pearl afterwards. Yeah, he's a great musician, a great musician.
So I was talking to somebody recently about Raphael Sadiq, and I didn't know the Lucy Pearl stuff at all.
Yeah, with Dawn Robertson, the girl that was in Vogue. Yeah, it was they only released an album under Lucy Pearl, unfortunately, but yeah, it was a great band. Yeah,
fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there a song you want
to?
We
could play the song "Faithful." That's kind of cool. Yeah. Kind of nice track.
Okay, let's see. Are you sure that's called that? Is that on that album, Faithful? Yes, it is. Yes, you are. How could I doubt this? How could I doubt you?
Since I was 12 years old, babe.
Unfortunately, I need to stop.
Yeah.
But if you never fail to disappoint, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great vibe from start to finish, and it features as well. Some track features great other R&B artists as well. It's a very beautiful album. It's a beautiful album. Yeah.
Is this still affordable, or do I need to be a millionaire?
No, not at all. Like I said, it's been reissued not too long ago, so you can find it pretty easily. Yeah. It's not that expensive. No.
So did you get into that at the time, Eve? Is that something from back in the day for you, or is it something you've come across more recently?
No, it's something from back in the day. I know I knew his work for a long time. Like I said, since the 90s, because it was very huge in 2020, and he has worked with great artists that I really love as well. So I've been, really familiar with Raphael Sadiq's work. Yeah. I haven't heard he released an album in 2019, I believe, called Jimmy Lee.
Yeah.
Kind of retro as well. I don't have it, unfortunately, but I've heard a couple of tracks, and it's pretty good. Very, very good as well. Yeah.
I'm sure somebody in the Peanut Gallery will say, but is that a record about his brother? I think that's, I might be wrong about that, but I'm sure that there's a family connection with the story of that record. But
I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Jason Rojas is asking you, have you seen Raphael live? He's an amazing performer.
Unfortunately, I haven't. Yeah. Because he does this is a kind of artist that don't stop often in Canada, unfortunately, or maybe in Toronto. When it comes to Montreal, they never stop in Montreal when they are on tour and whatnot. So unfortunately, I haven't seen him not live yet. Yes, but I wish I. Yeah.
So David says that's the one. Yes, about his brother.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard of that, but I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Brother was a gang member.
Yeah, because I believe he is from the West Coast. Rafael Siddiq. I think he's from Los Angeles or California for sure. So yeah, and I heard he had a rough life growing up and whatnot. Yeah.
And JBL loves Montreal. Who
Montreal,
doesn't?
Montreal is a beautiful city. Big up Montreal.
It has maybe some great selection of record stores,
It's
JBL.
a bit cold right now, but it's a beautiful city, and we do have some great, some very nice record stores as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've been digging in Montreal previously, yeah, many
Yeah?
years ago. But yeah, very cool record stores, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, John, we are so excited.
So quite an obvious choice here, but I love. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is a debut album, obviously from 1970. Obviously, she was previously in the Rotary Connection,
Mhm.
and this record, I say, it's a solo debut, produced and arranged by Charles Stepney, and you can tell that as soon as you hear the first track. Obviously, the first track is Les Fleurs.
Mhm.
That big, lush, orchestrated arrangement. It's one of my favourite songs. The opening track, but the whole album is beautiful.
Yeah.
Not an obvious soul record, I think, because of the orchestration, but it is a brilliant record. Of course, she had that amazing voice as well. So a lot of those very technical singers, you think of it more recently, the likes of Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey or others that who've got that big range, they leave me cold, because it's all about the technicality of the singing. Whereas, Minnie Riperton had that, but she was incredibly soulful. All of her records throughout the 1970s are wonderful. I've got them all to hand here, and the thing that I love about her music as well is that all of her records are different. As I say, this is that Charles Stepney production, that big orchestrated, lush sound. That was followed by Perfect Angel, which is a Stevie Wonder production. So you got a couple of tracks on here written by Stevie. This is the one with the big hit on it, Loving You.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps it's the fact that she had such a big hit. Loving You was a number one single, I think, over here. I'm sure it was in the States as well. It sort of overshadows everything else that she did. That's the song that she's remembered for. But, that's to say, the whole of her catalogue throughout the 1970s is fantastic. Now, as I say, you've got the Charles Stepney production. You then go through to the Stevie Wonder sounding record. And then onto this. This is a modern soul classic, mid-70s, 1975, 76, Adventures in Paradise. And I love that sleeve with her, with the lion there. Now, there's a clip on YouTube. Now, this isn't a Photoshop thing. This is Minnie Riperton sitting next to a lion. And there's a clip on YouTube where the lion sort of goes for her, So, the moral of that story is don't have your photograph taken with a lion. But it's this is probably my favourite record of hers. A great record. And I say, as the 70s go on, this is an album that was produced by her husband at the time, Richard Rudolph. This has got more of a disco flavour to it, as does the last album, 1970s, the album that she released before she died, Minnie. But it's that debut album. It's got such a distinctive sound. I love the Rotary Connection sound and those records. And part of that sound is carried through to this record. But I don't know whether you know this, but if anybody doesn't know this record, check it out. This isn't an original copy. I think this is an early press from about 74. But yeah, it's been repressed a couple of times since then, so I'm sure you can get a hold of it. But yeah, absolutely fantastic record.
Yeah. I mean, I love her work with the Rotary Connection, and I'm having such a hard time getting the Rotary Connections albums, finding them.
Right.
I cannot find them anywhere, and they are pretty expensive. Used. They are not cheap, but yeah, it was such a good band. Yeah.
It's interesting that is because they don't turn up over here very often. When as I'm sure you can buy them online, of course, but just out in record shops, I never see their records.
Me neither. That's it. And I rarely see them around. And they're pretty hard to they're pretty hard to find in decent condition as well. Yeah. So but I mean, with the debut, she sort of lost that rock sound that was the Rotary Connection had, but she kept the strings and the big arrangements. And and I suppose it's just credit to her, the fact that
you know, her voice wasn't overpowered by that sound. You know, she had such a strong voice. But as I say, it's almost a shame that she had such a big hit that everybody knows her for.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it's great that she had, you know, a hit at that size, but it's just sort of overshadowed the rest of her catalogue. And most of those records are cheap as well. You know, you can find them at affordable prices. So yeah, definitely worth picking up.
Died like
young, yeah.
somebody commented not too long ago. She died unfortunately way too young.
Yeah.
On
Absolutely,
what
yeah.
album is Memory Lane? I love that album track.
Yes, yeah, it's a brilliant track.
Down Memory Lane. And there's also
You don't
music.
need to play a clip. You could just sing it, Nadine.
Sorry?
I say you don't need to play a clip. You could just sing it.
I could just, you know, you don't want to do it. You don't want, no. So, John, is there a special track you might want to?
Well, yeah, the opening track that everybody knows is Les Fleurs. Just from a record collecting point of view, actually, anybody. It's interesting that it's spelled without an S.
Yes.
So the early copies are without an S. Later on, they corrected that and put the S at the end. So, yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead with Les Fleurs.
Will somebody wear me to the fair? Will a lady pin me in her hair? Will a child find me by a string? Kiss my petals, weave me through a dream. For all of these simple things and much more, a flower was born. It blooms to spread love and joy, faith and hope. People will know inside every man lives the seed of life. If he looks within, he finds beauty and power.
All right. I'm always sorry to disturb the mood.
It's interesting listening to that because obviously we're talking about Minnie Riperton. Obviously, she passed away incredibly young, but also so did Charles Stepney. Now, Charles Stepney, the producer, obviously those wonderful records that he made, the Rotary Connection. He produced Ramsey Lewis, Terry Callier in the early 70s as well. Earth, Wind and Fire, Denise Williams. So many great records, and his style was that big, bombastic, you know. I say lush or orchestrated sound, and all of his records. If you see Charles Stepney's name on any record, pick it up. You're never disappointed. So a great songwriter as well.
Keel, thanks for watching. Good that you watch the rest of the show tomorrow. You will miss a lot if you don't watch it. A little shout out to the vinyl record player, Greg. He's a huge fan of the show. And he's also building up a channel and has some great videos. So a big shout out to him. Very nice guy. So
shows some great stuff as well. Shows some great records. Yeah. So cool.
And you know which channel he voted #1 on his list?
I know, Nadine.
All right. All right. Next round, round 2. Is it me? Is it Eve? I forgot a little bit.
It's you.
It's me. It's me. All right. All right, I choose Barbara Pennington. I'll make myself big. Hold on for a second. Barbara Pennington, Midnight Ride. That's she did 2 albums in total. That was in 1978, and the last one was in 1985. Out of the Dark Night, and this is an all-in-all disco album. And the thing is, Not many people know about this, but this is actually a great record. I picked that up for €1, and tremendously well produced, and all in all a great disco record. And I think let's play a track. What about Midnight Ride? Let's play Barbara Pennington's Midnight Ride. None of you have ever heard about her?
I never heard about her.
No, I don't know that record at all, Nadine. It's a new one on me.
So up for some prizes. Midnight Ride. Let's see what we get. All right, this is the full album, but I know this is the first track. So yeah, let's see.
Streets through the days and nights, blinded by the glare of all those city lights. People moving past you with no name. Everywhere you look, they all seem to say, moving all around, yet you're still alone. When you're in a glass house, it's on the cold stone. That subway will take you anywhere. Riding with strangers who only stop to stare.
So the whole album is like this.
I love the.
I don't know anything about that record, Nadine. So tell us a bit about it. So what label is it on?
It's on United Artists Records, and the cover art, as you've just seen on this is the original, I think, US cover art, and what I have here is the no, don't get me wrong. Oh, this is a British cover art. What I have here is the original US cover art. So actually, the picture on the back is in this version on the front, and on the back of the other record is that one.
Okay.
So yeah, and she's a great vocalist, and I always try to get an interview with her. She is a powerhouse.
Yes.
She just vanished. I had her for 5 minutes on the phone, because the producer, Ian, don't get me wrong, Ian Levine, he always wanted her to go back into the studio and do more, but there's just no chance of doing it. And he said, you know what, I give her your phone number, and maybe you can encourage her to do some more stuff if she sees that still people are enjoying her music. And she's really a vocal powerhouse.
Yeah.
So is that how you got hold of her? So you spoke to Ian Levine, is that right?
Yes, I talked to him. I wrote him,
right?
And he said, "Yeah, I know her. I'm from time to time. I'm still in touch with her,
right.
And here's her phone number. She's expecting you." So, and I had her on the phone. I said it would be great if you could do an interview, that you tell me your story, but she's just not. She's out of their business.
Okay,
that's fascinating. That's fantastic. So how did you hear about that record to begin with?
I was in a record store, actually. So that's a favorite place for me to get records. And first of all, I love the 70s cover. I mean, you know, this woman has style. She has grace. So Lady with an Attitude, who knows the song from this was Style, Grace, Attitude, Madonna. Yeah. And so I picked that up, put it on a record player, and I heard that first track, and it was like €3 or €5, which is dollar, and so I needed to have it. It's just Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And that's how I found out about him.
Right. Okay. So what year is that?
That year, let me see, is 1978.
Right. Okay.
1978. Disco heyday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And I found her in an audition in Chicago, and he said, "You have so much talent. We should do a record together." And then she had a single first, and then came that album. And well, the thing is with records which came out in 1978, 1977, which weren't very much promoted, because like every week a disco record came out. You know, Disco Duck and opera singers doing disco records. It's pretty hard to get your record up there if you don't have promotion.
So I'm interested that you contacted Ian Levine. So obviously he produced a few records in the late 70s, but he was, I'm right in saying he was a big Northern Soul DJ. Somebody in the Peanut Gallery, you know, Ed Topper will tell me whatever. I'm sure he's a big Northern Soul DJ, and I'm sure there's this story about him going to America, digging for records and finding warehouses full of sort of dead stock soul 45s, and bringing, you know, ridiculous amounts of records back to the UK to play at obviously the Wigan Casino and all that sort of stuff, and stories about the plane being, you know, overloaded and all these sort of ridiculous stories, whatever. But yeah, so it's quite a fascinating character if I'm thinking about the right person. But somebody will tell me. But yeah, so it's interesting that you contacted him, and as you say, you got in touch with her through him. So yeah, very cool.
I still have her phone number, but you know, I'm just not calling somebody and saying, "Hey, do you remember?" It has to, you know.
Yeah.
If she doesn't feel that way, again, she was happy. She couldn't believe it that people are still listening to her music.
Yeah.
I think with all the vinyl revival, many DJs and people who are sampling stuff, they're finding this record and they love it.
Yeah. No, I'll look out for that. That's cool.
Yep.
Wow. All right, my turn. All right, I've decided to pick an album by a band, very cool band based in New York, and they mainly do instrumental music. And the band is called L. Michael's Affair, and this is their debut album, Sounding Out the City, which is so good. I love their style of music. They describe their style as a cinematic soul, which is like, you know, a mix of rock and soul with, you know, orchestral instrumentation and whatnot. It's so cool. Beautiful album. They've released 3 studio albums, and they also released like tribute and cover albums, like tribute to Isley, tribute to the rap group, what they called, Wu-Tang Clan. You know, they released a bunch of albums, but really 3 studio albums. And I have this one, which is a debut, and I also have their recent one called Adult Themes, which is also very, very nice. It's on like a white.
Wow, that looks stunning.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. It's a very cool band. Now I think they're signed on the label called Big Crown Records, but the debut was signed on the label Truth and Sound, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, very, very nice band to get into if you love instrumental. Yeah, they're very, very talented.
So it's interesting because I think that Leon Michaels has just recorded an album with Black Thought from the Roots.
Yes.
So that's what's coming out next, isn't it? So I was saying before to you that one of my favourite records from last year was Cheat Codes, the Black Thought and Danger Mouse album. So I'm quite looking forward to hearing that record.
I haven't listened to their project with Black Thought yet, but yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah.
I've only heard one track. I think one track on the radio, but yeah, really, really cool. But that debut album's brilliant.
They're very good. Yeah, they're very good. They're very, very good.
How did you find them?
My God, because I was into another artist from Big Crown Records, and I was checking, the artists on the label, and I stumbled upon this band, and I've listened to a few of their tracks, and I really, really like their stuff. And it's been maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, yeah.
And
They're
have
very.
you seen them live?
I'm sorry.
Have you seen them live?
No, no, I haven't. Unfortunately, I haven't. Because
But
like I
that's
said, they mostly tour only in the US, or maybe they will go, if they come to Canada, they'll go in Toronto. So it's not too easy to go
mm,
see them live if you're not living in the US. But yeah,
mm.
I would love to see them. Yeah, would love to see them live. Yeah.
John is asking, have you heard
Yes,
of the Three Scared Souls?
yes, they are very, very good. They are very good. Yeah. Yeah.
What is this for kind of group?
It is like they have a retro sound as well, and like it's retro soul. Very, very, very talented. Yeah, the lead singer. Yeah, I love his style. Yeah, the Sacred Soul. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
very good.
Is there a special track from Al Michel's Affair which you?
Yes, we could play. Let me see. We could play Behind the Blue Curtains.
Yes. All right. It's coming up. I love this record. I need to have it.
All of I'm telling you, all of the three records are very, very good. Yeah, I love that kind of instrumental music. Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's
so an
very
easy,
soulful.
laid back
Very
70s.
soulful. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Is it still affordable? Can I still buy it? Or
Of course, you can find it easily. Yeah, easily.
also in this beautiful white vinyl? You had it?
This one as well. This one as well is pretty easy to find. Adult themes. It's not maybe not as good as the debut, but it's still a very, very nice album. Very nice album. And you have some
Awesome.
little interludes with a woman kind of singing, talking a bit. Yeah, it's a very enjoyable album as well. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, John,
Right. Okay. So I'm going for Laura Lee with Woman's Love Rights from 1973, I think, perhaps 72, 73. So
and
yes.
the promo. The promo.
Sorry?
It's
Yes,
a
it is.
promo.
I didn't realise that today. Yeah, it is a promo. Yes. So
I
So
love the cover. Yeah, I love the cover.
I'll look at
yeah,
that later.
absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Look at that cover
she's
photo.
bad. Yeah. I love the pose. Yeah.
And the thing is, Eve, the record sounds like she looks. It's got that attitude to it. It's got that sass. Yeah, I mean, the big tunes on here, I think, obviously the title track, Woman's Love Rights, but also Wedlock is a Padlock. You know, you sort of get the feeling, you know, what the album's about just from the titles there. But she's got a great voice. You know, if you think about Millie Jackson.
Millie Jackson, that was about to say.
Yeah, it's the same sort of deal as Millie Jackson, but I think I perhaps prefer Laura Lee. I've only got 2 or 3 of her records. She, you know, she made a few records in the 70s. This is on Hot Wax, which was Holland Dozier Holland's label, of course. But yeah, I think she's originally from Chicago, but obviously, you know, she must have been around Detroit, whatever, for Holland Dozier Holland to record like this. But this is a brilliant record. You know, as I say, it's got that swagger, it's got that sass. You know, she's got a really good voice. The back cover is great as well. You know, although it's a bit more flattering that one. But yeah.
Oh my God, I love this furniture. Oh my God.
Yeah, the furniture there.
I would go for the couch.
Yeah, but just that picture on the front there, and just the black and white nature of it as well. Whenever I see a record like this, what I'm interested in is what these records are here. I want to know what's on the wall behind her, you know. But yeah, just look at the attitude in her face there.
Yeah, unbothered.
Yeah, you know, again, this isn't an expensive record. I don't think any of her albums from the 70s are expensive. There's some good compilations out there as well that, you know, come out on vinyl. She put out a lot of, I think, 45s throughout the 60s for different labels. So there's plenty of stuff to go at. And I don't think these certainly aren't big money. So definitely worth keeping an eye out.
How did you find her?
I think I've had this album years, but I'm pretty sure I just saw that cover.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm going to buy that, you know. But as I say, it's on Hot Wax. And so I do love the Holland Dozier Holland stuff, you know, Invictus, Hot Wax. So anything on those labels, if I do see them about, I will pick them up. But yeah, it's a really good record.
Awesome. I have to be honest, I've never heard of her. Shame on me.
Yeah.
You know, so give one of the tracks a go. So try the title track, Women's Love Rights, which is the first track on the record.
That's great, because on YouTube you find the whole album. But let's try this.
Stand up and fight for your love rights. Love who you wanna, 'cause a man is sure gonna. Stand up and fight for your love rights. Love who you wanna, 'cause a man is sure gonna. We do the washing, we cook and sew. Babies tie you down while your man is on the go. You got a right. Yes, we go out at night. Sills all around. Let you paint the town. Now stand up and fight for your love rights. Love who you want, 'cause a man is sure one. Stand up and fight for your love rights. Love who you want, 'cause a man is sure one. To be fair, he's got 3 women, a pair and a spare. He loves who he pleases while you're at home in need. That's some satisfaction, a piece of action. Stand out and fight us.
She has some strong vocals.
Great vocals. Great.
Yeah, I mean, she's got that grit to her voice, hasn't she? That rasp. You know, I love that. A bit of attitude there. Yeah, it's a brilliant record. You know, you make sure you hear that track, you want to hear more, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to get this record now, but now everybody wants it, and you just increase the price.
But that's the opening track on the record, and I mean that's what an opening track should do. You know, it should draw you when you want to listen to the rest of the record, and that's exactly what that does. You know, I'm pretty sure that when I bought this, I might have played this on a deck in the store or whatever, and play that first track, and yeah, straight away you want to hear the rest of the record, you know, and certainly the cover makes you want to do that anyway. I know
does she have a big discography, or
No, it's only a handful of records, I think. 4 or 5 records, if that. So
I'm new to her. I never heard
yeah, I've got another one to hand here. The Two Sides of Laura Lee. This is a UK copy, so it's got a laminated sleeve. So
Oh, look at this beauty.
Wow.
Somebody just wrote in the comment that she looks like Diana Ross.
Yes.
I think she looks a little bit like Diana Ross.
Yeah.
But look at this cover. It's gorgeous.
a little bit, yeah. A little bit, but it's. I think this is a third album. I think there's one in between this and that. But so I've only got. I think I've probably got 3 other records. So I don't see them very often, but definitely worth picking up if you see them. And again, I don't think they're expensive.
Awesome. So, John Moreno, if possible, play. I marked your question at the end of the round. We do that, and there's also another question from. I hope I spelled that correct. Hanso Sanchez. I hope I spelled that correct. We can discuss this later on. I marked your question because that's a very interesting question. All right, that was a great choice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is it my turn again?
Yes.
All right. So I choose. I got Soulful. I tell you that. Oh, hold on for a second. Too many records. So I make myself big. I choose Randy Brown with Welcome to My Room. Randy Brown.
Hang on, Nadine. You're showing this because that's signed, isn't it?
I'm sorry. You wanted debut. That's a debut. So he had a career between 1978 and 1981 doing some stuff for Parachute. He also was on Chocolate City, and his last album was on Stax Record. And he is just a tremendous soulful singer, and I love this album very much. I have some other albums as well, and yes, John, you can point it out, they are signed as well.
Fantastic.
Because I was fortunate enough to meet him in Blackpool.
Oh, right.
And Midnight Desire, which was on Chocolate City, and so on this album, on his first album, there are 2 tracks, I'm in the Mood and I'd Rather Hurt Myself. And the funny thing about this is they were released as a single, which you also have. And yes, it's also signed because I met him in Blackpool. And the thing about this single is, is I bought it in Germany on a flea market for 5 Deutschmarks, which 2.5 euros, which is $2.5. And I met him 2 years ago in Blackpool, and he signed everything. And then I had the chance to do it in the Discogs, and I was quite shocked. This is a near mint copy with the original sleeve, and the highest price for it was $300.
Wow.
Wow. I don't know why. I was quite stunned. I checked the version a few times, but like I said, I don't know why, but it's a highly in the Northern Soul scene. This single is because they were the best 2 tracks on this album, is highly in demand.
Maybe because it's rare. There's not a lot of copies out.
Maybe that's the reason. I'm sometimes shocked about pricings. That's for me, most of the time it's hard to understand. I do get this when records are not being produced. If you want a record from the 70s and you want an original, or 60s, 50s. Yeah. Randy Brown, Welcome to My Room. And I would say let's play I'd Rather Hurt Myself.
So sorry, Nadine, I have some questions, right,
Please.
about the whole signing thing. So you can see that this is bothering me a little bit, Nadine.
Hold on. Yes, keep that in mind.
What was going on in Blackpool? Were you just on the pleasure and you bumped into him, or was there like gig going on, or was it an all-nighter, a Northern Soul all-nighter or something?
Blackpool is also known as Crackpool. And if you've been there a few times, you know why.
Yeah.
I've been shocked for life, but there was a Soul Weekender.
Right. Okay.
And so every year was a Soul Weekender, and there were quite a few people coming up. and I always had the chance, sneaky as I am, to get the stuff signed. And he was there, and so I brought everything I had with me. So I just traveled for the Soul Weekender to get there.
Yeah. So who else was playing that weekend?
Oh, you are asking me questions.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what else you got signed. That's what I know.
Betty Harris was there.
Really?
Betty Harris was there. So let's see, Betty Harris and Betty Harris. You can.
Yeah.
I make myself. Yeah. So she was there. This is the Boring reissue.
Yeah.
And the Boring reissue is a good thing to say. But hold on, this is Barbara Mason. Hold on. And she had another album out there. Hold on for a second. Which she also I'm getting it. She refused to sign a certain record.
Really?
And because she thought, or she thinks, I have it. Maybe I have it somewhere here. Yeah, that's it. Soul Perfection. I make myself think. And she didn't want to sign this. This is from 1969, and it's on the Action label. And she told me, "Hey, listen, Nadine, you're nice and everything, but I'm not going to sign this because it's not my record." And I said, "This is you. This is you. I'm sure it's you. It sounds like you." And she said, "Well, this has been done in the UK without my permission." So I did all the singles, and the Action label in the UK made an album out of it, and I'm not seeing a dime out of this.
Yeah.
And when I bought this, it was 20 Deutschmarks, 10 euro, so $10. And now it's over 100. And I told her, listen, I came all the way from Germany just to see you, and I love the Pony song, Ride My Pony I love that song. And then she signed it.
Fantastic. So who else did you see, Nadine? Who else did you see at the Soul Weekender? I want to know. Go on, get them all out. Get all these signed records out.
Hold on. I'll show you where is my, you need to prepare me for this, so I can have that all when you're asking me for it. And, there are some disco artists. I can hardly remember. There were so many because I was there so many times. But I'm looking for that's my highlight of from the non-Elvis artists. I show you that. Hold on for a second.
Oh.
So,
this has been signed by Carole King, Bobby Wood, Gene Simmons, the songwriters, and Reggie Young, who played guitar on this album. Then we have the songwriters, Bergman, all of them.
Wow. I think that is probably the most impressive record I have ever seen. Look at that.
Well, you haven't seen my Elvis records.
Yeah, I prefer Dusty to Elvis, so.
Yes, I knew that. So, and Carole King she wrote I Can't Make It Alone, which is my favorite track on that album. And so this record this took me 5 years.
That's incredible. That is really incredible, Nadine.
And here is Estelle Brown. She's the last living person from the Sweet Inspirations, from the original lineup. And that was the last signature I got.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but we haven't. You asked for it. Hold on. Do you know who this is?
Oh wow!
That's
that is an underrated record, Cameo. That's
I
really
love it. Yeah, and it's signed by her.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So, but someone in the comments wrote I could 40. Yes, this would be in 48 hours stream. So, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, this is just a small piece.
I'm absolutely blown away. That Dusty record there. I mean, for me, that is. I mean, it's Blue Eyed Soul, but no, sorry, the Dusty Memphis.
Yeah.
it's Blue Eyed Soul, but for me, it's one of the best soul records ever made. Her voice is just perfect on that record, and you know, it's one of I bought that when I was a teenager. And to begin with, I like the more obvious songs, you know, Son of a Preacher Man, Just a Little Lovin', and but there's quite a few songs there which are quite slow. The ballads on there, things like the Windmill of Your Mind, that sort of thing. And I just didn't get it as a kid, you know. And as I've got older, they've become my favourite songs on the record. It's a song that I think you get more from every time you listen. It's a brilliant record, one of the greatest records ever made, and certainly, you know, it's undoubtedly the best Blue Eyed Soul record ever made.
Dusty is for me the best singer who ever got out of the United Kingdom ever. And she produced at the beginning most of her records herself. And it was in the 60s. She was a woman. It was a difficult time for being a woman in business and all of that. My biggest issue with Dusty is at the end of her career, her voice was ruined. The stuff she did with the Pet Shop Boys, you know, I almost have her whole catalog, you know, but also this one. Have you seen this?
What's that?
That was that's an album which never got out.
Okay, so when is that from?
These tracks were recorded in the beginning of the 70s, and they were supposed to be on an album which never got out. But the tracks were available on a special edition of Dusty in Memphis on the CD issue. But this was supposed to be an album which never got out, and it's on orange vinyl. And this is the single. There's one track missing on this album, which I think is haunted. It's not haunted, but there's one track which is not included on the vinyl version. And all the King's Horses are on there. I'll Be Faithful, A Love Shine Down, Make It With You, tremendously well. As you can see, this record has some kind of, you know, it has been tried to put in a mail like this. So because, as you can see, it's also signed by the songwriter of All the King's Horses, Not Just Strays, and Have a Good Life, Baby, and also Love Shine Down.
Fantastic. So is that an official release? I'm not
yes,
certain.
Yes, it's an official release, and I also bought it for 20 euros around that, and now it's 150 euro. And the big issue I had with this, you pay a certain amount of money, and then you get everything in paper sleeves. So when this record came, it had scratches from the paper sleeves. I could go crazy, but yeah. So she had some great records, and also on Cameo, I think Who's Loving You Now, or what was it called? Coming and Going is great. And Who Gets Your Love? Cameo
frustrates me because, you know, that is a really good record, and it should have done better than it did.
Yep.
But the part of the reason surely is the appalling cover. Now, I think the original design was that it was the blue section was meant to be in felt, so that would look great. But just as a drawing, it just looks it looks really lame. But if that was done in a blue felt with a white background, that would look fantastic. But the record company has gone cheap on it, and it hasn't followed through with the design of the record. You know.
Yeah, the cover art is just, even for the 70s, and there were some worse. So this would have been fantastic for our section of worst covers with great content. So yeah, absolutely. And you have this, and it's stunning. It's just absolutely stunning. It's
that's really good. But yeah, she made 4 great records between starting off with Dusty in Memphis, and then there was a Brand New Me, which was the Gamble and Huff produced record. And then you get into the early 70s. There's a nice record that came out in the UK. Is it what's it called? The one with the purple sleeve. That's a great record. I really like that.
Yeah, that's from Dusty with Love, but it had a different title in the US.
Yeah, a Brand New Me in the US.
Brand New Me. Hold on for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
And actually, this was fantastic because it was produced by Gamble and Huff, and she was one of the first artists who were into Gamble and Huff. And she would have, if she would have waited 2 or 3 years longer, she would have been in the 3 Degrees vibe and everything of that. So she was a little way of her time.
She was absolutely, because that the sound of that record is more 60s and 70s, isn't it? I know it's not. I think the album's 1970, but it sounds like a 60s soul record.
Yes.
You know, you haven't got that famous Gamble and Huff sound at that point.
Yeah, let me see. And they put the in the UK they had that picture on the Dusty in Memphis album with the green corners around.
The green around it, yeah. I've got that one, yeah.
Yeah. That was from 1970. Yes, correct.
The UK cover of Dusty in Memphis isn't as good as the US. I love the picture on the US.
I could show you something. I have the original. I got in touch with the guy who made the cover of Dusty in Memphis.
Oh, did you? Right.
And
okay.
he still had the original proof from the printing of the cover.
Right.
And he sent it to me as a present. I have it in a frame in one of my rooms.
Wow. Nadine, every time.
Nadine, you're impressive, really.
Very impressive. I love the effort that you go to in getting this stuff. It's brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no way too far. But you know, the thing for me is especially also with Betty Harris. She's a fantastic singer. To get, you know, they never got the acknowledgement. They never got the real story behind it, and they had great talent. They put effort in it, and it never really got far. And so for me, it's very important to get their stories out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And Dusty, of course, she was the Son of the Preacher Man was really one of the first songs I ever heard. You know, so
that's brilliant.
So now you made me pull out some of my other records as well. You know,
that's good.
I have to get them. You know,
yeah, that's fantastic, fascinating. Yeah, the other is So Big Yellow Rebel just said, "See All of Her Faces" is another good one. Yeah, that was a UK release, wasn't it? And that takes pieces of the Dusty in Memphis sessions, and some of the other UK sessions for Pie as well, and mixes them up. But it's a really good record.
Yeah,
I really like that album.
You also asked for who else was at that weekend. You know, Gene Carn.
Yeah. Okay. Look at this.
Hold on, I have more. But you know, I don't want to.
So when you go and see an artist, so you got you know that you're going to be able to get something signed. Do you just take everything you have by that artist and just see if they'll sign it?
Yes, when I know that there's an artist, and as you can see, I have quite a lot. I go and hope it works out.
Brilliant. That's fantastic, Nadine. I love it.
Yeah, and I always try to get some of their story or anything. That's, you know. That's for me the important thing. For me, the important thing is get the music out there. There were ones that recorded, they had dreams, they had ambitions, and most of the time when you talk to these people, they always have the same story. They say, I just got out of college, and I had a manager who worked in the best interest of themselves or the record company, and they never really had a chance. Like the 3 Degrees, they're not getting a dime of anything they do, and their music is still being played.
Yeah.
Barbara Haywood, or so many artists. And for me, it's very important to get their story out there and they get the recognition. And they're so happy that someone from Germany is calling in the middle of the night. I have to wake up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and call them and tell me your story. And they're just like, I can't believe it. You're calling. Who is buying my records? You know? And I said, some of your records are worth hundreds.
Brilliant. I love that. That's
fantastic. My next goal is to find out what happened with them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now, see. I was talking to Nadine about this. So yeah. I don't know. People in the Peanut Gallery might not have seen your video yesterday, Nadine, but you obviously you made a video yesterday about this record, and you know you obviously got this record, which is an incredibly collectible record. It goes for, I was saying earlier on, it goes for about £1,000 in the UK. And you got a great copy of it for a fraction of that price, and it's just something you just do not see.
No.
So you might as well hold it up and tell us about it, Nadine. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I hold it up. And on my channel, you can see the whole unboxing thing. How nervous I was, if it's the real record or if it was a scam or anything like this. But this is actually the first time I saw this was in 1992 when I was on a class trip in France, in Paris, and went into a flea market, and I saw this record, and the seller sold it, I think, for 3,700 Deutschmarks, which is now $2,500. And I now thought I'm going to have this, and this is actually a very, very good soul record. And now John's gone. He's now gone and trying to get the record. But yeah, that was quite a story. So concerning the pen, I'm always using the same kind of pen, which is Edding, which is very famous in Germany, where I know that the writing is good, and I'm always sending the pen with them, so to make sure that they are not using, which always happens or often happens, a black pen on a black cover.
Yeah.
So who was actually? So no, I was going to play a song.
Yeah, of course.
I was going to play a song. I'd rather hurt myself. That's one for the ladies. I love that song. Hold on.
All the talk that's going around town about me and Mary Ann, it's getting you down, down, down. And I'm aware of all your friends calling you a fool, trying to show you the place to where I'm using you. After all these years we've been together, I would think by now you would know me better. Hurt myself than to hurt you. Now I can understand you being all upset. The whole town's laughing.
Once again, I have to ruin the mood.
So yes, yeah, so that's with the 45 that you showed earlier on. What was the track? What was the track on the 45?
Yes, there was I'd Rather Hurt Myself and I'm in the Mood. I'm in the Mood is a great Northern Soul anthem.
Can you play a bit of that? I don't know that.
Yeah, sure, I can play that. Sure. So I don't know if it's political correct these days, because we know about what kind of mood he's talking about. You know?
Every morning I wake, even during coffee break, the only thing on my mind, loving you, girl, all the time. Can't get enough of the sexy things you do. That's why when it comes to making love to you, always in the mood, girl. Do anything that you want to do. You are, without a doubt, a part of me. just call my name. Now, girl, like showering rain. Can't get enough of the sexy things you do. That's why when it comes to making love to you.
Sounds a little like Love Boat.
Yeah.
I like that. Nice modern soul, isn't it? It's cool.
Yeah, so that's I was quite surprised when I got this for €3 and it's 150 in median price at Discogs. Whatever reliable it is, you know.
It's cool.
So I think John, it's now your turn.
No, Eve's next. What you got, Eve?
Yeah, I'm next.
Sorry.
That's okay. All right. Debut album by an artist from the late 2000s, so very recent. Modern artist. He's a singer, songwriter, producer, very talented. But it's the I guess it's the kind of artist that if you like his stuff, you really like his stuff. But if you don't, it just no, it's not for me. But I really like it. I mean, he has a very unique style of music. And this debut album, it's like a mix of folk, soul with jazzy touch. And I'm talking about the artist Moses Sumney. And this is his debut called Aromanticism. That's a very nice album. And this is, I think this was Vinyl Me Please release. And it comes on, this colored vinyl.
Wow, this looks stunning. Look at this.
Black and white, and it's and the packaging is just very nice. The gatefold, yeah, very cool stuff. And yeah, he has that falsetto of vocals, and yeah, the production is just it's very not your typical soul contemporary soul album, not at all. He has a very unique style, and I really like his stuff, especially his debut, because he released an album like 2 years ago in 2020 called Gray, and Gray is a little bit more on the rock side. But yeah, this one is the kind of album that you need to really sit down, enjoy, and take your time to listen to all of the tracks, to check out the lyrics as well, because yeah, it's an album that you maybe need to listen to a few times to really enjoy it. Yeah, but it's a very, very nice body of work. I love it. I really love it.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar with Moses Sumney.
I know the name. I don't know any of his music.
Yeah, so. He's from I think he's from California, but of Ghanaian descent, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so
right, okay.
It's very talented.
I love the album cover.
Yes, yes.
It's a great image, isn't it?
I'll make you big. Hold on.
Yeah, very, very cool album cover, and the album cover for his recent album Grace, it's beautiful. I don't have it on physical format, unfortunately, but it's even prettier than this one. Yeah. Very, very nice.
People are actually begging. Can we hear some samples from the good old dog? Can we hear some samples? Yes, of course.
Yes. We could play, because on this one the tracks are pretty long, but we could play a track called "Make Out in My Car." It's really short, but you can really have an idea of his vocals on that track.
Right. Make Out in My Car, official audio. That's a very short one.
just wanna make out in my car. I'm not trying to go to bed with you. I just wanna make out in my car. I'm not trying to go to bed with you. I just wanna make out in my car. I'm not trying to go to bed with you. I just
It's an awesome music video. It has a lot of
Yeah,
okay.
the track, the production is very, very unique. I really love his production. He used like instruments like harp and what it's jazzy, it's dreamy. He has that dreamy vibe, that yeah, very soulful vibe. I really, really enjoy this album. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I like that. I like that a lot. I've not heard that before.
Mhm.
I'll be looking out for that. You're costing me more money, Eve.
And this one, I guess this one is pretty, it's pretty easy to find as well.
Yeah,
Easy to find.
cool.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
His recent one, Gray on vinyl, might be more difficult. I don't know, because I don't have it on I don't have it on vinyl, but it's another style. It's another style. His recent one, but this one is his debut is it's way more soulful. Yeah.
See, Doc is going to order it.
Yeah, there you go. You've sold him a few records there, Eve. Definitely.
Yeah. So Moses Sumney he's definitely very talented artist from that new generation. And I really do like these kind of artists that they do stuff that it's not common, They trying to make it a little bit more original, a little bit more unique, which is nice, because like I said, when it comes to R&B soul, modern R&B soul, you feel like you've heard one song and you've heard them all. Which
It's interesting because in the peanut gallery there, Ed has said it's very Prince. Now, yeah, I mean you can hear Prince in that. I mean,
yeah,
I listen to Prince a lot, so I hear Prince in everything. So I often think, well, am I hearing that, or am I making that up? Whatever. But that definitely has a Prince feel to it, doesn't
you're
it?
right. Totally. Yeah.
That's cool. That's really good.
Mm.
I'll have to stream that. It's really cool.
Mm. Yeah.
Awesome. Is that still available on Vinyl Me Please?
That's from, I think it's like, that was released in 2017. So
then it's sold out.
yeah, I don't but you can find, I guess you can find it online, maybe. That particular Vinyl Me Please release, maybe you can find it online. But
from time to time, I renew my membership with Vinyl Me Please. If you live outside the United States, it's very expensive.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, but what they, I have some Aretha Franklin reissues that it's Spirit in the Dark and some others, and they're just phenomenal. Great packaging and everything. And the Spirit, especially Spirit in the Dark, on this was on blue vinyl. That was very, very good.
Yeah, they do some great reissues of Vinyl Me Please. But yeah, like you said, Nadine, if you live outside of the US, it's pretty expensive. I was a member, but I'm not anymore because of that. It was, it's not cheap at all. It's not cheap.
No.
Yeah. They do some great reissues, great packaging, colored vinyl. Yeah.
I really want their reissue of the Aaliyah album, the self-titled record.
Yeah,
I think they did it last year, and I can see it on eBay for sale over here. It was obviously too expensive for me to get at the time. Obviously being in the UK, obviously it's a US release, but yeah, it looks like it's a stunning, reissue.
Yeah. So
Great.
what they do is they really, and they have also an improved customer service. When I started ordering when they started, and the customer service was horrible. Okay. And now I had an issue with a warped record once again. So I had to film a clip, and they said no problem, and then we sent the record, and it was just a phenomenal, great customer service.
Did they ask you to film yourself breaking the record, your original copy?
No. But I also had that with, I don't know if it was a UHQR from Analog Productions or if it was a MoFi. At one point, I had to destroy a record. And you know how painful it is?
Oh, wow. They asked you to do that?
Yes, you have to destroy the record and you have to send a picture that you destroy the record so you get a new one.
Oh, wow.
Mm. So we are all through, right?
Yeah. John, I think.
Yeah, I've got one more to show. Yeah, I've got one more.
Sorry, John. You got me totally out of it because you wanted to show that the record. So you got me totally lost on track. It's all
It's
your
not my
fault.
fault. You know, half of the soul singers that ever lived have signed records for you, Nate. Do you know what I mean? Right.
Production. So, John, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right, Margie Joseph. Do you know Margie Joseph's albums?
No.
Yes, hold on. I have some stuff signed.
She's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, she is. I mean, so this is a record, I think, from '71, and it's on Stax. Well, it's released on Vault Records, but it's obviously a subsidiary of Stax. And yeah, it's interesting because it opens with a version of "Stop in the Name of Love" by the Supremes.
Oh.
And I was thinking earlier on, I was listening to this. It's a great version. It's a 9-minute version of "Stop in the Name of Love."
Wow.
And it starts off with that. It's a slower version than the Supremes. It's got more of a moody vibe going off, but it breaks off into almost like an Isaac Hayes inspired, extended version, and it's a brilliant version of that track. But it got me thinking: how many Stax artists covered a Motown song? You know, I mean, that's quite an unusual thing, isn't it? And I was looking up early on. I think there's only happened sort of 10 or 15 times, but. Yeah, but she did it twice. She did it on this record. It opens with "Stop in the Name of Love," and the follow-up, she made 2 records for Stax. She did a version of "My World Is Empty Without You," which is a brilliant version. It's better than the Supremes. I mean, you think about the title of the song, "My World Is Empty Without You." The Supremes version, it's this upbeat poppy tune. It doesn't.
Sense.
Yeah, the mood of the song doesn't quite fit the lyric. Whereas hers does, you believe every word. It's brilliant. But yeah, this is a debut. Yeah, I really like this record. It's good from start to finish, and as you say, a great cover image.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah, after this, she went to Atlantic Records and she made a few records for Atlantic. So this is the first record.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There you go. Yeah,
Wait, hold on.
I think I've seen it on your channel, Nadine.
That's fine, Nadine.
Yeah, it's signed off once again.
Hold on.
Oh my God! Wow.
Look at that.
Hold on.
Go on, tell me the story, Nadine. How did you do that? Yeah, I mean, these are great records. And the thing about this, if the thing about these records for Atlantic are that she basically cut these records with Aretha Franklin's band. You've got Bernard Purdie on drums, Jerry Jamot on bass, Cornell Debris on guitar. It's a killer band she's singing with, and you hear her singing the Supremes covers. She's got that sweetness of Diana Ross's voice going on, but when she needs a bit of power, she's got that as well. So she gets a little bit Aretha at times. So that's why I suppose. She gets away with recording with Aretha's band. But go on, tell me how you got those signed records. That's fantastic.
I forgot one. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean these are brilliant records. Now, ignoring the signedness of these records, these are all cheap. You can get these records for no money at all. They're all less than €10 to £10, and
that's a long time ago, John. That's a long time ago.
Is it?
In Germany, you have this one is like 20. And this one is like 50.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Especially if you want the original one. Yeah.
Okay, I'm obviously talking about 1990s prices, aren't I?
Yeah.
So go on, tell us how you got them signed, Nadine.
So Marjorie Joseph was appearing at the Baltic Soul Weekender in Hamburg about 2 or 3 years ago. And the funny thing about it is usually they do a meet and greet, but that didn't happen that year. So someone was saying, I see her walking around and she wore a pink sweater. And I was like waiting at that meet and greet and hoping she would come. So, like everybody was hoping she would come. And a friend of mine who's always with me said, you know, I'm fed up waiting. You know what? It's your thing to do this. I'm going to the supermarket and get myself whatever. And then she called me and she said, didn't just somebody said that an older lady with a pink sweater is walking around here? And I said, yeah. Well, Marjorie Joseph is just in front of the supermarket. So I grabbed my stuff, ran like hell, and and I had my backpack. And while I was running, I was putting out my records, and I was right in front of, and I said, Miss Joseph, it's just the greatest honor meeting you. Could you do me a favor and sign these records? And next to her was her son, and she was like, of course I can do. And we had we made some pictures. You can see that on Facebook. We made some pictures, and she signed these records for me.
Fantastic. I love that. And and they're great records as well, Nadine. That's
awesome.
Brilliant. Particularly that one. That's a brilliant record.
Yeah. That's just awesome. And getting the OG is just tremendously difficult.
So her version of Let's Stay Together, the old
my God,
is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So yeah, more signed records from Nadine. Who'd have thought it?
No, it's finished.
Brilliant.
No, it's finished. All right, so John, what song do you want me to play for Margie?
Have a little bit of Stop in the Name of Love. Just it does. I say it starts off similar to the original, a little bit slower, but yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, sure, I will do that. I will do that.
Yeah, sit down, make yourself comfortable.
You might want to skip this on for a couple of minutes because it's more
okay, sure. Okay. No problem.
And these two chicks want you tell me who she. Baby, I'm aware of where you go. Each time you leave my door, I watch you walking down the street. You're gonna meet this time before you run to her, leaving me all alone to cry. Haven't I been sweet to you? Stop in the name of love. Stop it. Think it over, baby. Stop it. Think it over.
How cool is that, John? She made it totally her own. A totally different song.
You can hear it getting a little bit. It sounds like a bit of a Norman Whitfield production as it goes into that. It sounds a little bit Temptations or a little bit Undisputed Truth. It's a great version, and it's 9 minutes long. So there you go, brilliant.
I love it. So I'm just trying to find out where the Signed Temptations records are. But
oh, Nadine. I think it's brilliant how just the effort just that you've gone into getting this stuff. And that's hard work. That is, calling people up in the middle of the night and tracking them down and finding who their neighbours are and stuff like that. That's brilliant. That's proper Sherlock Holmes stuff. That is.
Yeah, and don't ask how many times I was called crazy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine, but yeah, it's worth it though.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's I'm just I'm trying to find out some stuff, but where are the Signed Temptations?
So which Temptations have you got the signatures for?
No, I can show you Four Tops, which is signed by.
Who's that signed by, Nadine?
That's signed by the last living one, who's that's the Duke.
Yeah.
Who's and he was so kind, and you still see the post-it to sign actually all of my.
Look at this.
four
Wow.
top records. So I could go on.
Wow. So did you meet him?
Yes, I met him when he was in Dortmund in Germany, and I had the opportunity to meet him and get that signed.
That's fantastic. So so those records. What's your favorite era of the Four Tops? What's your favorite period?
The 70s, actually.
Yeah, and me. Yeah.
I'm more into the 70s. So after they left Motown.
Yeah. Yeah, for
So
ABC. Yeah, fantastic.
So that's the thing when it really really was going to. So there was some great. They did some great things here. Main Street People, where was the soundtrack "Are You Man Enough?"
Yeah.
This is just also here is the Catfish album, and it has a little cutout. We come to that question later on. I marked that concerning the minty question of Discogs. But yeah, there are quite a few, and I have some Temptations up here too. But
that's fantastic. So yeah, I'm with you on the Four Tops in the 70s. After they left, although I like their early 70s records, but they made with Frank Wilson, you know, Still Waters. But when they left Motown, they made like 3 or 4 great records for ABC. So is it Meeting of the Minds? That's the record that I like the most of that album there. Yeah, that's you know, One Man Can't Tell No Prisoner. Yeah, it's great stuff.
But I also love Keepers of the Castle, because they did a great version of Remember What I Told You to Forget, which was also covered by the Tramps. It wasn't the Tramps, by what was the group? There was another group who covered that song as well, and but their version is it's outstanding.
Yeah, it's a nice record, that is, Keeper of the Castle.
Yeah, it looks like shit. Really, it's been through some rough times, as you can see. But I paid €2 for it. But Main Street People is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Are You Man Enough? It's a blaxploitation classic. That is.
Yes, absolutely. So I could come up with some more, but
so what you were saying about cutouts? What were you saying there?
Sorry, about what?
You're saying about cutouts on sleeves.
Yes, we have. I marked some questions. So, what do you think about items what do you think about items that with min status on Discogs right now? So, I've had these discussions very often, because I get very, very often emails about this. For me, a mint record is a record which is still in shrink, which hasn't been played, which is new.
Yeah.
So, but for many people, let's say, for many people or for many sellers, a record with a cutout, for example, and it's still in shrink, is a mint. A drill hole, a cut hole, a saw, something. It's still for them like in mint condition. It's not. And I had about 2 months or 3 months ago, someone from Discogs got in touch with me, and they did an interview with me about what I liked about Discogs, what I didn't like about Discogs, what I think should be improved. And I said, what you should do is, I get an email with tons and tons of records on my want list. I want to specify what do I want to send by an email, what's on my want list. And I also think, because I always write an email, please send me pictures. Is there a drill hole? Is the record warped? Are there scratches on it? I have to write this kind of email to the seller of Discogs. And for me, the biggest issue on Discogs is that you can't put pictures of the items you are selling on Discogs. It's annoying as hell.
Yeah.
And for me, mint is like, it's new, it's in shrink, it's never been played. That's it. So for other people, it's with a huge cutout. It's still in shrink, but it has been opened. So I'm not so happy with Discogs at the moment. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, the same for me. You have to ask a bunch of questions regarding a particular album, because mint for somebody is not I guess it's not the same mint for somebody else. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You cannot have a drill hole and call it a mint album. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
So, and John, you have so many record stores up there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use. I've only ever used Discogs a handful of times, and I occasionally buy things on eBay. But mainly, it is just looking for records locally, really. And I appreciate that's a bit of a haphazard way of doing it because I'm not looking for anything specific. But yeah, I prefer to do that. But I understand if you are quite remote and you can't get to a record store, then obviously you need to use Discogs. But it's mainly because of that issue. You don't necessarily know what you're buying.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's for me.
And the pricing is something else as well.
It is, yeah.
So just for an example, I bought this and it was praised as near mint. So just to show you this.
Somebody's written on it. Oh, that's why it's not near mint. Somebody's written on it, Nadine.
So that's what I've been told is near mint.
Yeah, that's
so.
Come on.
Yeah, so I also got away from Discogs, and I'm also trying to buy more from eBay or getting into a local record stores. But the thing is the convenience with this. You look for a title and you find it, but it's very difficult getting that. And you know, I had so many issues with Discogs, also with conditions, with warped records, unplayable records. There was one record which had a huge scratch on side too. It was just, you know, but it was VG++. Yeah, wow.
So who are you looking for autographs from at the moment? Is there anybody that you're in the process of contacting or trying to get hold of?
No, not at the moment. Let me think. No. I think Dorothy Moore died. Is she still around or did she die?
Don't know.
I'm a big fan of Dorothy Moore. And it's not just Misty Blue. She has another album which I love to death. Hold on for a second. And this is this one.
Yeah.
And this is just fantastic. Great record. So I always wanted to track her down, but this proves to be difficult. Some people just don't want to be found.
Yeah.
So that's it. So we're trying to be away from Discogs a little bit. Another question. I joined late. Did you have any pickup this weekend? So did you have
pickups?
What have I bought this week?
We honor the Dono, Vinyl Community Records. Thank you so much. So we will all already drink somehow. Thank you very much. So do we have some? And thank you very much, Vinyl Record Community. Thank you. We having a good time. So Doris, you still with us? So sorry. What about the vinyl pickups?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what I bought this week. Yeah, so I bought a copy of, well, we're talking jazz now. So the Blue Note Classic reissues that come out. Grant Green reissue came out last week. Greenie's Beautiful, which is it's like funky jazz. You know, it's great. I picked that up last week, which is very nice. And I picked up a handful of 45s in a week, and I can't think what any of them are, which is a bit crap, isn't it? But there you go. It'll come to me in a minute.
Yeah, I had just one pickup.
I didn't get anything. I mean, I've talked about it with DJ Funk. When it comes to new releases, R&B, soul, there's nothing interesting in my opinion. So I didn't get anything. Yeah. Since the new year, I haven't gotten anything when it comes to records. I've been very good.
That's good. I'm impressed. That's really good. Yeah.
I told myself, you know what? I'm strictly gonna buy albums that I really wanna get into my collection. If they're too expensive now to be buying for just to.
Are there any particular albums, Eve, that you would like to see reissued at the moment? So there's things that you like in your collection, but the originals are just too expensive.
Oh, that's a good question. That's mainly some 90s R&B.
Yeah, yeah,
Mainly
absolutely.
some 90s R&B. I
Mm,
mean, the reissues, they're not getting reissued on
mm.
vinyl. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Surely
was
they will, though.
super
You know,
excited.
because
Yeah. That's the thing. And they're, yeah, it's Vinyl Me Please, they did a great job by releasing some good albums from the 90s when it comes to R&B music. But yeah, it's slow. It's slow. The reissues are slow uh in that particular genre, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah.
It's getting very expensive. It's just
Too, yeah, it's
records are paid like 20 or 30 years ago. That's how long I'm collecting, like €5,
yeah,
€8 are now 20 or 30 euro. And
yeah.
I'm like, sometimes I'm shocked. And I'm also shocked for people who are just getting into it, the hobby.
That's yeah,
Wow.
that's a hard one. I mean, to be collecting nowadays, I mean, to be a new collector nowadays, it's a hard one. I mean, to be buying albums for like $50, average albums for
Yeah.
$50, to me it's insane. It's insane,
it's hard
insane.
to justify that for a new record, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
No.
albums that have been reissued so many times. I
Yeah.
mean, there was like I think Curtis the Curtis album's debut.
Yeah.
Curtis has
Yeah.
been reissued like this week or
Yeah.
last week.
Mm.
Another reissue. I don't understand why
Yeah.
they keep doing this. I mean, this album has been reissued countless times already,
But
but
it
they
is a great record, Eve. It's one of the best
it
records ever,
is.
you know. So the more
You can
people that hear
find
it, the
it
better, I suppose.
easily. You can find it easily.
Yeah.
Like an old version of it, an original pressing. Even you can find it easily. Why
Yeah.
keep reissuing these types of albums? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And they're selling it for like $30, $40.
Yeah.
Really? It's to
Best
me, it
example, Thriller.
blows
Yeah.
my mind.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah.
this is
And I
blow.
was so disappointed about Thriller. You have no idea how disappointed I was
You
about.
see, Thriller. I mean, I all this fuss came out about the expensive reissue, the box set thing.
Yeah.
Now, so for me, Thriller is an album that you can find regularly for under £10. You know,
Here we go.
a lot less than £10.
Here we
But
go.
you know, maximum you'd pay is £10 for a decent copy. And the thing about Thriller is that it sounds good. You know,
Yes.
the album was cut by Quincy Jones. You know, the sequencing was done by Quincy Jones to make sure that it sounded good on vinyl. No, he messed around with the track list, and that's what influenced the tracks on the album. And then all of a sudden, you know, when all this came out about it coming out as some fancy version, everybody was saying, "Oh, Thriller sounds awful." It doesn't sound awful.
No, not at
Not to
all.
my ears. I mean, my ears aren't great, but it doesn't sound awful. And then
Who said
also
it sounds
you buy a
awful?
record for $150 or something. It's crazy.
And you know, I got this record. I was in the States and I picked it up, and I was invited in a record collector's house, and we played this record, and everybody was quiet after playing the MoFi release because expectations were like this, and it was like when you had Thriller, the original, it was like right in front of you, kicking you in the face, and now you had like this, and it was like, well, yeah. I was super disappointed. I wouldn't have bought it if I had heard it.
How much was it again? $150?
Yes.
Wow.
But I bought it from the Ingo, and it was $99. And a friend of mine lives in the States, so I sent him the stuff, and every once in a while he sends me a big package. And some people in Germany got their MoFis, and they were totally scratched.
Oh,
just getting them out totally scratched. And
but I think that there's you know, I think that these audiophile companies are missing the point with some of these releases, because Thriller is a dance record. You know, it's designed to be in your face. You know, that's how it should sound. You know, we don't need some big separation so that it sounds great for an audiophile, you know, listening room, whatever. Thriller should sound great on the dance floor, and that's so. This whole thing about changing it and messing with the sound so that it loses that is crazy. You know, really is.
I just couldn't understand. You know, the how can you sell? How can you How can you sell Thriller for $150? To me, it's mind blowing. But hey, I mean, like I said, everybody's entitled to do whatever they want to do with their money. But to me, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy.
I was expecting something totally different.
Yeah.
When I love Mike from the In Groove. When he said it's the best thing he ever heard, and I really rely on his words. He's very knowledgeable and all of this. But when I've heard that the first time, I was so disappointed.
Really?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that Mike from the In Groove was listening to it on some fancy ass system.
That's the thing. That's the thing as well.
Yeah.
Yes, because
So it's going to sound different to how I hear it on my
system as well. Yeah.
my system.
Yeah. But did you compare it with the original, Nadine? The Thriller?
Yet the original was always better. The original was always better. It was mastered by Bernie Grunman in the first place.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of strange that he didn't do it at this special occasion. So somebody else did it, and it was a wider range. You heard things you never heard before, but it was something to a flawless kind of record. It wasn't like it wasn't what I expected, but that's my
and they could have released another album by Michael Jackson, but not Thriller. I mean, he released I just didn't understand why they had to go with Thriller, you know, that you can find anywhere.
Isn't it the biggest selling album of all time? You know, it sold that many copies, 50 million copies. I'm sure you can find a copy for less than a tenner. You know?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. So, John Moreno, if possible, play a Manhattan Street Band, make the road go working. Of course, it's possible.
That's a great band as well. Kind of similar to El Michael's Affair, another very good instrumental band. Yeah.
Is it a bad thing that I never had heard of him? It is, right?
But they're yeah.
That's a very late back track, John. Thanks for making us. I never heard of them, but Eve did.
Yeah, I do. I have I think 2 of their albums. Yeah, they're pretty good.
Are they on Daptone?
Yes, I think they're on. Yes,
I
think so. Yeah, they are. Cool. Pretty modern sound, but yet, very laid back, very enjoyable. Yeah, great stuff.
All right, I think we're doing it for another 7 minutes, and I also already got 5 emails if there will be an episode number 5. I think there will be an episode number 5.
Cool.
Don't be too excited.
I'm just reading the comments, Nadine.
Yes, of course there will be an episode number 5. I've got 3 emails already requesting it. Some Duranta, if we are taking requests, okay, we're taking some requests. Pets Radio 80, what kind of track do you want me to play from Durando? Write it down in the comments.
Didn't I? Duranda, you got played, didn't I?
Didn't I? Of course, didn't I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, I played, didn't I?
Yeah. Now that is a tune. Brilliant record.
Didn't I treat you right now? Didn't I do the best I could? Didn't I give you everything? I tried my best just to be a man. Didn't I do? Why you wanna leave me, baby? Didn't I treat you right? On the bottom rings.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a brilliant song. Absolutely gorgeous. I've got it on 45. Yeah, it's fantastic. What a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us a show featuring favorite producers. Okay.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
That'd be good. Okay, so we got the next topic.
All right.
Damn, I have to look into that.
Brilliant. No, thanks, Nadine. I really enjoyed that. It's really good.
Yes, awesome. So some of you having some final questions. Otherwise, we are going to wrapping it up. We're having a great time. Once again, big thank you. I'm getting all kinds of emails while doing this live stream, and I couldn't do the show without this great partners I have with John and Eve. They're just phenomenal, and I really can't thank enough for bearing with me for you have no idea how nervous I am before the show, so I really can't thank these guys enough. But before we leave, I want you to get the links to the channels of John and Eve to get this all done. So hold on a minute, I have you all bookmarked. Hold on. So first of all, this is the link to Eve's channel and the 6-inch pianist.
That's right.
The person who plays the instrument, be aware of that. So I want you to make sure that this is Miss Lady Soul, this is Eve's channel, and she's having a great stream with DJ Funk.
Yes, and the Big Yellow Rebel.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's Talk Records. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
Let's Talk
we're
Records.
going to do a next episode very soon.
Yeah, and thanks for the invitation. I will be gladly there.
they all know their stuff as well. That's good.
We're
You always
planning-
learn something. It's cool.
We are planning, getting other guests as well. So yeah, of course.
So I can only recommend that. Go on her channel. It's a great live stream. It's awesome. And this is John's channel. Brilliant in soul. He also has some great reggae stuff. I'm not so into it, but I'm still watching it. Because there's some really great highlights on it. He has needle drops on it. Very knowledgeable person, John. I love his channel. So yeah, great show. And once again, I can only thanks everyone for watching. We're having a great time, and there will be episode number 5, even if John and Eve are not so excited about it as me, but there will be. No, they love it. They won't tell you, but they love it. All right.
We do love it. We do love it.
Yeah. Okay. So love it. Yeah, love it when we take offers.
Mm.
And once again, thanks everybody for watching. Have a great time, and we see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, see you next time. Bye,
Cheers.
guys.